First up today, we head to Thailand, battered this week by the most severe monsoonal flooding in decades. Although Bangkok is protected by levees, residents in outlying areas have spent the past few days sandbagging their properties as the swollen Chao Phraya River inundated farms, factories and low-lying areas around the capital. The disaster coincides with the Thai government's bold decision to effectively double the price of rice on the domestic market. It's part of a controversial set of policies designed to appeal to the poor and to increase incomes, and rice farmers are among their key targets. But Thailand is the world's largest exporter of rice, and the move to artificially inflate the price has created concern about distortion of the international export market. Southeast Asia correspondent Zoe Daniel reports.
It's nearing the end of the wet season in Thailand, and farmers in the rain-fed Central District are harvesting early, before their rice is inundated by floodwater. Most of Thailand's rice is grown in the drier northeast on small-scale irrigated family farms, and here, where the high rainfall supports large-scale production. This year, though, while there's a rush on to save the crop, there's no rush to sell it. Farmers have been stockpiling their rice ahead of the new pricing policy that kicked in this week.
I
had a talk with the Minister of Commerce and he told me no problem. They can do it without distorting the market and the farmers will not be in trouble.
Chairman of the Thai Farmers Association, Prasid Boonchoi, is visiting members explaining how they can benefit from the new system. But he has major reservations about it.
Our concern is it will distort the market. It will become an opportunity for our competitors to have more customers, since their prices are lower than ours.
Under the scheme, the government will buy rice from farmers at a set price of 15,000 Thai baht, or just under 500 Australian dollars per tonne. The rice will be handled by preferred millers and marketers and warehoused by the government, which will either sell it domestically or to exporters.
The mill will be in the middle of the process. We take rice from the farmer and transform it from the paddy rice to the milled rice, and then we take this rice into the government's pledging scheme. The farmer then receives a payment according to the scheme price. The real benefit goes directly to the farmer.
But the government's new fixed price is almost double the current world price for rice of between $250 and $350. Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra took office riding a wave of popularity at landmark elections in July. She's the glamorous sister of former Prime Minister Thaksin, who was accused of running Thailand like a business for his own gain, was ousted in a coup in 2006 and is now self-exiled to avoid a conflict of interest conviction that he says was politically motivated. In his stead, Yingluck heads the red shirt-backed Pheu Thai Party, which is targeting Thailand's poor by increasing the minimum wage, introducing first home and car incentive schemes, and increasing the price of rice to farming households, who make up more than a quarter of the population.
First thing we have to aim for how we make Thailand move forward into both areas. The first area is by economic. Make sure that the economic and the wealth of the people back. And the second thing is restore the democracy back.
It's a shift away from the free market approach. But some argue that's partly to blame for the economic and class divisions in Thai society that have recently led to violent civil unrest.
Intervention by the state is absolutely essential at this stage of Thai economic development. We have been following a very free market economy for some time, and the outcome has been that the distribution of income, of wealth, of everything is really screwed up. So intelligent intervention is important. The problem is what is intelligent intervention.
World Bank figures show that between 1970 and 1990, poverty in urban Thailand fell almost 4 times faster than in rural areas, a sore point among rural people and something the government is trying to address.
I certainly believe, that in agriculture, particularly in rice, we must find a way to help the farmers. If done properly, it's very positive.
Farmers will gain from the policy, at least in the short term, with the cost of growing rice currently around 6,000 baht per tonne, or just under $200. A set price for unmilled rice of close to $500 represents a huge profit, but they doubt the motivation behind it.
These policies are political. They're just to do with each major party beating its main rival.
A similar policy was in place under Thaksin Shinawatra, and then the last government replaced it with a less interventionist insurance scheme, where it topped up returns to farmers if they didn't reach a minimum level or in times of seasonal variation. Now the system is changing again. It doesn't safeguard farmers against floods, drought or pests.
When you harvest at the high water, you have to be careful.
Nevertheless, every farmer in Thailand is expected to sign up for the scheme because of the high price, and they're expected to plant as much as possible for the sake of the guaranteed return. A record crop is forecast at the next harvest.
It is the extra income that we would like to have. We expected the new government to help us. We farmers have very high hopes from them in helping us from our hardship.
But experts question whether poor farmers who have small land holdings and therefore low tonnages will be the true beneficiaries of the policy.
Their excuse for all this heavy-handed intervention is they want to help the poor rice farmers. Now, a majority of the rice farmers are poor, but the poor do not supply the majority of the rice. The majority of marketable surplus comes from the top 15% of the farmers.
Amar Siamwala is a declared critic of Thaksin Shinawatra and his policies. He says a similar approach under Thaksin fostered corruption, and the same will happen again.
1 or 2 or 3 selected exporters who are the government's cronies. Okay, they only export through those people, and they get to rake in a lot of money.
Rice is the most important food for about half of the world's population, yet only about 4% of the global production of rice is traded internationally. That's because most countries simply eat what they grow.
Thailand is the world's largest exporter of rice, sending up to 10 million tonnes a year overseas, which makes up a third of the international export market. If Thai rice is strategically released by the government in small amounts, analysts expect an increase in world prices due to the staggered supply. But Thailand will then end up with a growing stockpile as farmers increase production to take advantage of the guaranteed price. If the government then sends larger volumes onto the world market from its stockpile, the world price will fall. Most concerning to exporters, though, is the fact that Thailand is at least initially pricing itself out of the market, and importers, particularly those in Africa and the Middle East, will look elsewhere.
It is a scheme to buy outright every grain of paddy from the market at 50% price higher than the market, and at the same time destroy the private sector that has helped building this rice industry to be the champion in the world over a long period of time. You could say a century even. This is regrettable.
Exporters expect other countries like Vietnam, Burma and Cambodia to increase production, particularly if world prices increase. That will erode Thailand's long-term market share, which may be difficult to regain.
Well, you look at, let's say we export 8 to 10 million tons a year in Thailand, and 4 million tons go to Africa. That 4 million tons to Africa can be replaced immediately by the Indian surplus. Just overnight, that's gone. And this is very grave, very serious. The Thai government is thinking that we have a 30% share in the world, that we feel very comfortable that nobody can replace us. But I think that kind of attitude is too dangerous to take.
In the short term at least, the government support scheme means Thai consumers will pay a lot more for their staple food, rice.